Jake Owen, good morning and welcome to the big morning broadcast. We're getting ready for Thursday, May 29th at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion at Meadowbrook. You are on tour with the Eli Young Band and Cadillac 3. And I have to tell you, we've already talked, Jake, to Mike Eli, and they've been busting up your stuff.
Yeah, we have a blast. I mean, we just want to make sure not only the fans, but all the artists who are on tour with us are having a great time. I mean, I was thinking about this yesterday about how many people I've been on tour with since I got my record deal, and I toured with Brooks and Dunn and Alan Jackson, which was an amazing time for me. Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw and Brad Paisley, Keith Urban. I've been really fortunate to be out there with everyone. And one thing I learned is that if you're going to tour around with people, it's really important to make sure that everybody has a very great time, because if you're having a good time, it shows in the show. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you guys say that. And we're really happy to have them out here with us, and we're looking forward to seeing y'all.
You mentioned that you traveled and toured with so many legendary artists. Did you ever imagine, when you were a kid growing up in Florida, did you ever imagine that this was going to happen to you? I mean, do you just look at your life sometimes and say, how the heck did this happen?
Oh, every day. I mean, every day I do that. I mean, I do it when I do it in my own mind when I'm on stage staring out at thousands of people, like just having a blast. And because of songs like Beachin' and Barefoot Blue Jean Night and things like, and I'm the Florida guy, being from Florida, I look out in the crowd and there's people showing up in, hula skirts and wearing Hawaiian leis, and everybody looks like they're going to the beach that are coming to the show. And it's just such a great feeling to know that, like you said, I mean, all those years I spent down in Florida and not knowing what I was going to really do with my life. If someone would have handed me a contractual agreement and said, hey, so in 15 years from this point in your life, I would have thought, you're out of your mind. There's no way that'll happen. And it's happened, and there's such a great feeling that goes along with knowing that you're doing what you love in your life, and that actually even better feeling that people love what you're doing.
Can you recall a point where you kind of looked at everything and said, hey, I'm kind of a big deal. I'm really a star. I mean, and you really realized it for the first time?
Well, it's funny because I've always tried to remain very humble, and I kind of downplay myself a lot, I think. But I just went to the Bahamas last week and took my dad, who beat cancer last year. So it's his first trip since his cancer treatment.
Nice.
And my brother went with me, and one of my really good friends. And I told them on the way down there, because this was a really remote island. We hadn't been on that island for probably 15 or 20 minutes, and we were getting gas at the local marina. And this guy's looking at me, and he's kind of looking at me weird. And then he finally comes over, and he goes, hey, man, they told me you were coming to this island. Is it okay if my wife and I get a photo with you? And I looked at him, and I was like, you know what? Sure, it's perfectly fine. But I looked at my dad, and my dad goes, hey, man, you signed up for it. So it's just funny, like, I never thought of myself as like that anyone would care, but here I am in the middle of the ocean on a rock. And these people wanted a photo, and I just thought that was so funny.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see you perform at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion at Meadowbrook on this Thursday night. It's going to be such a great, great show.
The Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion at Meadowbrook. Tickets and info online at banknhpavilion.com, banknhpavilion.com.
Now, there's a lot of pressure on you because you are the first artist. You're the opening artist of Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion's 2014 concert series.
Well, I look forward to that.
And they've done some renovations over the winter. You are absolutely going to love the place, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Guilford on Thursday night. Thank you, Jake Owen.
All right, y'all. Thank you. I'll see you soon.